What's up, guys? My name is Carl here, back with another YouTube video. And in this one, we'll talk about how to be a better professional poker player. So, this is not going to be about the strategic aspect of poker, but more about the skills related to just being a professional when this is your career or you want this to be your career. There's some things you can do to help you out. So maybe this will turn into a video series at some point, but right now I got one main topic that I want to talk about, and that is playing poker in such a way that it's sustainable, that you can give your career some longevity. So I think all of us, well, maybe I'm just projecting from my own personal experience or what I've seen with my poker playing friends, but I think those of you who get drawn into poker and do well at poker, they have kind of the tendency to get totally obsessed with it and spend all their time playing poker. I've seen it with me in the past when I was a youngster, a student in high school. I could get really drawn into all kinds of games like Magic the Gathering or some computer games and get really obsessed trying to master that game and really spend all my time on it. And that's how I eventually rolled into poker. And I think that obsession helped me reach the point where I am now. But it is not a sustainable way to play poker for a living that way. So what you want to do is play in a way that does offer that sustainable path. So if you spend every single minute of spare time you have and put it into poker, then at some point you might have to do some soul searching, as that it's just not a sustainable way to live your life that way. And besides that, I think some of us feel some pressure because poker seems, at least online poker, seems like this fleeting thing that is maybe slowly dying, and we want to get as much out of it as possible. So we feel the pressure to play and play and play and put in those hours, and you can chill later because online poker, where there's some money to be made, that's right now, and who knows what the future holds. But that's not a way to live your professional life in any profession, basically. So it's important that you search for some balance and have some stuff going on besides poker, and that will help you during the playing. So maybe you'll play less hours, but they will be more effective. You'll do a better job at them. So obviously there's some simple things that you've heard by now, like take care of your physical well-being, which is food, which is going to the gym, doing something like that. Also think about the social aspects of your life. Your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, it's all good. Just look at it as you're playing less hours, but you're playing more high quality hours, and that will be better for your win rate, that will be better for variance, and that will be better for your overall health and mindset. So those are some basic tips that you probably all heard, but if you haven't, well, then you have heard them now. Some other things I've been thinking about is that when you get sucked into this poker void that takes up all your time, and well, the only thing you really got to show for it is this high score of the money you won. But it feels kind of abstract in a way. It is just a way of keeping score. But when you live your life like that, after a month of grinding or longer, the month went by and, well, you got some more money to show for it, but you didn't really do anything too interesting. So one of the tips I got from an old Run It Once video from Sean LaFord. Back then he was still a video maker. And back then UPSWING Poker didn't exist, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about Run It Once. So one of the simple tips he had to keep your sanity as a poker player was actually to do some basic chores and activities that you might want to outsource, but just do them yourself and you will feel better about your day. You will feel like you got something done, however silly it might be. Things like going to the groceries, maybe cook some food, do your laundry, just doing something real besides playing poker. And I'm talking about this regarding poker, but this can apply to so many other jobs that are, there's more and more abstract jobs, things going on in finance or whatever, stuff like that, where you are many steps removed from producing, for example, a physical product or a service that makes somebody's life better. So in those jobs and in poker, at some point you might feel like your soul is aching for something real or something like that. Maybe not everybody struggles with it. It's not like I have such a hard time with it, but I have been thinking about this topic, and it also has popped up in some YouTube videos I've been watching, or some blog posts or articles I've been reading. And yeah, it just made me think. So yeah, the Sean LaForte thing, just do some basic chores yourself. And at some point when you start doing well in poker, you calculate your hourly rate and it's pretty good. But the drawback might be that you look at other aspects in life and compare them to that hourly rate. So you're like, I can do this, or I can win X amount of money playing poker. And I think that can really fuck you up in some way. At some point your conclusion is that you should outsource everything, as it's more efficient money-wise for you to just play poker and let other people do that non-core part of your life that just makes sense to outsource. It makes sense when all you want to do is maximize your monetary EV. So there's more going on. Maybe it's just me getting a bit older and thinking about those things. I feel like an old guy in the poker world, at least in the online poker world. Anyway, so yeah, you feel like you want to outsource all non-core activities, but you also think about social events in that way. Like, am I gonna spend an afternoon with my family? That's, oh my god, that's so many hours of poker. I could be earning this, and it's not just about the money I make now, it's also about the experience I build up, and that gains me more monetary future EV and all that stuff. So yeah, just you need to stop thinking that way. That's not a way to live your life. So there's maximizing monetary EV, and having more money will take care of your money problems. But there's also other kinds of EV in life, and it's not just only about maximizing that monetary EV. So yeah, that Sean LaForte tip of just doing some basic stuff yourself helps you do something real, helps you do something non-poker every day, and also distracts you from only looking at time spent as an hourly win rate that you're giving up. So yeah, that's tip number one of how to play poker in a professional way that offers you a more sustainable career. A second point, which is also related to this, playing poker all the time, doing this abstract thing that has no real connection with the world. That's just the reality of poker. And I feel like you can look for some satisfaction with doing something real in other aspects of your life. So I think it's a good idea to have a more real hobby. Again, it can be one of those chores, can be turned into some kind of hobby or interest you have, like, again, cooking some food, or maybe you live the farm life and you have a garden and you want to grow some vegetables, or do something like that. It could also be going to the gym, which takes care of that healthier lifestyle, and it's also doing something that takes your mind off poker. I think those things can be really beneficial. Third point is, again, still related to the same thing, like what happens if all you do is play poker all day long. I think we humans, we crave some linear progress. We want to see a clear connection between time and effort spent and the reward you get. And the fucked up thing about poker is that you can grind all month long and basically get a negative paycheck. Your high score doesn't go up, it goes down. And that's something you don't really see in other jobs. So that can really mess with you. So not only have you spent all this time doing it, not only don't you have anything real to show for it, no, your high score went down. So to combat that a bit, I would also recommend my third recommendation for being a better professional and thinking about the longevity of your career is to find a hobby where you do see a more clear connection between effort you put in and the reward you get. So again, that can be going to the gym, where you progress and you move up in weightlifting stakes. It could be reading a book. So you read a book for an hour, you progress. So there's something satisfying about that. And I also think that we poker players, we can get really isolated in our corner, our tiny corner of the world, and be totally oblivious about what's going on. So I think reading and just keep being a lifelong learner, also in other aspects, broaden your horizons. I think those things can really give us some perspective and make us think about stuff we wouldn't think about otherwise. I've been trying to do this, but I feel like there's still so much I can do. And if you want to look for more clear connection between effort put in and reward within the poker world, you can look at studying that way. So unlike playing for an hour, when you study for an hour, you will have a reward, while when you play for an hour, you could have a negative reward. And the final point I have, the final tip number 4 I have to be a better professional, is to do things to break the monotony of time and the perception of time. Something I read in a blog post about a book. The book is Moonwalking with Einstein. And there they say, monotony collapses time, novelty unfolds it. You can exercise daily and eat healthy and live a long life while experiencing a short one. If you spend your life sitting in a cubicle and passing papers, one day is bound to blend unmemorably into the next and disappear. That's why it's important to change routines regularly and to take vacations to exotic locales and have as many new experiences as possible that can serve to anchor our memories. Creating new memories stretches out psychological time and lengthens our perception of our lives. Pretty deep, huh? So I think when you're in the poker grind, one, it's important to create a more healthy routine for yourself, a more balanced way of living your life. But that's still a routine that can be the same every single day. And that is how you create results, long-term results, but it's also how time collapses. So I also think it's important to enjoy the fruits of your hard work and do some fun stuff. Go take some exotic holidays, take up a new hobby, go to a fancy restaurant, whatever. Do whatever you want, but these novel experiences will break the monotony, and you as a poker player have the freedom to do these things. Many people don't have the time or the money, or they think they don't have the time or the money, but you as a poker player, you definitely do. So take advantage of this unique aspect the job offers, and I think these 4 tips will help you to be a better poker professional. So I made this YouTube video obviously because I was thinking about this stuff myself. So some people, they gather their thoughts and they write an article or a blog post about it. It helps them in distilling their thoughts and clear up their thinking. I'm doing it in a YouTube video, a bit more modern way of doing this. The only downside is that you can reread what you've written in the past, but it is kind of awkward to watch your own YouTube videos. I'm not really sure what I think about that. But this will be the end of the video. If you guys have any thoughts on this topic, if you have any of your own experiences to share or have other tips, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, well, hit that like button obviously, and share it with a friend if you like it. It helps boost the exposure of the channel, and maybe I'll see you guys back in the next video.